Let me tell you something that changed my life. I was sitting in a seminar years ago, and the speaker said something that just hit me like a bolt of lightning. He said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." And I thought, well, now, isn't that something? You see, too many people are sitting around hoping life gets easier, hoping the economy turns in their favor, hoping their boss gets nicer, hoping traffic disappears, hoping for fewer problems, and I get it. I've been there. But here's the truth: hoping for an easier life is like hoping winter doesn't come. It's a wish without power. The seasons will come, the difficulties will arrive. That's not personal, that's life. But here's the good news: you can get better, you can get smarter, you can develop new habits, you can build stronger disciplines, you can sharpen your mind. And that, my friend, is where the magic is, not in avoiding the struggle, but in mastering yourself within it. Now listen, it's tempting to complain, isn't it? My job is too hard. People don't appreciate me. The market is tough. But let me ask you this: what if instead of saying, "This is too hard," you said, "I need to grow"? What if you turned every challenge into a classroom? What if your problems became your practice field? I'll tell you what happens. You start to evolve. You start to elevate. You stop shrinking from pressure and start rising through it. People ask me, "Jim, how do I become successful?" And I say, simple, not easy, but simple. You work harder on yourself than you do on your job. You become more valuable, and the world will pay you for it. Don't ask for fewer problems. Develop greater skills. Don't hope for more luck. Build more wisdom. Don't wait for things to change. You change. You want more opportunity. Then you need to become the person who deserves it. You want better relationships, then become someone who understands, who listens, who adds value. You want more income, then become more valuable in the marketplace. The answer is never out there. It's always in here. The moment you stop wishing it were easier and start working on being better, life doesn't just change. It starts to respond. It rewards growth. It respects effort. It honors those who rise. So my challenge to you is this: stop waiting. Start building, stop wishing, start becoming, because when you get better, everything else gets better. Challenge builds character is more than a motivational phrase, it's a law of life. The very essence of who we become is shaped, refined, and forged through adversity. When things are easy, we coast. But when we're tested, when we're stretched beyond what's comfortable, that's when growth truly happens. The struggle is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something is forming within us. Life's challenges are not just obstacles. They are the chisels that shape us into who we are meant to be. When we encounter resistance, it forces us to make a choice, to step up or step away, to rise or retreat, to endure or escape. That choice reveals our character, but more importantly, it builds it. Muscles only grow under tension. Wisdom only develops under pressure. Strength of character is no different. It is not inherited, and it doesn't come from success alone. It is earned, built, and proven in the fire of challenge. Easy times don't make strong people. Ease can often make us complacent. It's in the challenges that we find out what we're really made of. When the plans fall apart, when people walk away, when the finances collapse, when the dreams seem distant, that's when we are forced to dig deep. That digging, that soul-level perseverance, is where character begins to form. It doesn't happen in a moment. It happens in decisions, in disciplines, in how we respond when things are difficult. Every challenge offers us two things: pain and possibility. The pain of struggle, yes, but also the possibility of strength. And the more we embrace the process, the more we allow those difficulties to shape us, the deeper our roots grow. Storms will come, but storms don't just destroy. They reveal. They show us what's anchored and what's weak. And every storm survived adds another layer of confidence and grit to our character. Character isn't formed in the spotlight. It's formed in the shadows. It's formed when nobody's watching and you choose integrity anyway. It's formed when you fail and get up, not because it feels good, but because you refuse to quit. It's formed when everything in you wants to give up, and you whisper to yourself, just one more try. These are the moments that define you. These are the moments that shape your legacy. Growth isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it looks like sleepless nights. Sometimes it looks like starting over. Sometimes it looks like taking a step with trembling hands. But with each step, something in you strengthens. You don't just become more skilled, you become more solid, more grounded, more resilient, and that's the kind of strength the world can't take from you. Too often we ask for comfort when we should be asking for courage. We seek ease when we should be pursuing endurance. But if you look at anyone who has done something meaningful with their life, you'll find a trail of battles behind them. Not just victories, but bruises. Not just success, but scars. And it is precisely those scars that give them depth, wisdom, and the ability to stand tall in the face of new storms. Challenges teach us patience, because nothing great happens overnight. They teach us humility, because they remind us we don't have all the answers. They teach us compassion, because once we've suffered, we better understand others who are suffering too. And they teach us perseverance, because we realize that falling is not failure unless we refuse to rise. You don't know your true capacity until you've been stretched. You don't know your resilience until life knocks you down. And you don't know your inner strength until something outside of you tries to break it. But every time you rise again, your character grows. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, purpose over pleasure, growth over giving up, you are building something in yourself that can't be bought, taught, or borrowed. You are becoming unshakable. Life doesn't hand out character like a gift. It forges it through seasons of pressure. And the beautiful truth is, the more challenge you face, the more capacity you gain. What once shook you now strengthens you. What once broke you now builds you. And what once felt impossible becomes your new standard, because you didn't run from the challenge. You rose to meet it. And in doing so, you became more than you were. There is no shortcut to strong character. You can't read it in a book or wish it into being. It's built daily, choice by choice, challenge by challenge. It's built when you're under stress but remain kind. It's built when you're under pressure but stay principled. It's built when you're afraid but act anyway. These moments may seem small in the moment, but over time, they form the foundation of your character. The value of challenge is not just what it gives you, it's who it makes you. Because at the end of the day, success will come and go, seasons will rise and fall, but your character is the one thing you carry with you through it all. It becomes your compass when you're lost, your anchor when you're shaken, your shield when you're tested, and your voice when you're silent. And so, when life sends you challenges, don't curse them. Embrace them. Let them do their work in you. Let them stretch you, teach you, shape you, not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Every great story has its battles. Every great leader has their wounds. And every great life is built not in spite of challenge, but because of it. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger, is a truth that many only come to understand through experience. At first glance, it may seem like a harsh reality, but it's actually an empowering revelation. Because if life never guarantees ease, then our growth, our power, and our transformation lie entirely within our response. Life isn't in the business of making comfort its mission. It doesn't smooth the road for anyone. What it does offer is the opportunity to rise, to stretch, to dig deeper, and become someone capable of handling more with greater grace and power. In youth or early stages of a journey, difficulties often feel unbearable. The smallest setback can feel like the end of the road. But as time passes and as you endure, you begin to notice something strange. The problems don't vanish. In fact, they sometimes grow in size and complexity. But you change, you respond differently. The same situations that once made you panic now stir resolve. The same challenges that overwhelmed you now feel like part of the process. That shift isn't because the world suddenly became fair or easy. It's because your internal world became stronger. Strength isn't always visible. Sometimes it's invisible grit. It's emotional stamina. It's the ability to keep going when every excuse invites you to quit. That strength doesn't come from reading motivational quotes or wishing for better days. It comes from facing resistance, enduring the discomfort, and discovering you had more in you than you thought. Every time you go through something hard and come out standing, a part of you grows that can't be taken away. Many people wait for circumstances to change before they change. They say, when life calms down, I'll find peace, or when things get easier, I'll start that project. But life doesn't owe us convenience. The winds will keep blowing, the waves will rise, and the seasons will shift whether we're ready or not. Real power comes from learning how to remain steady in the storm, not just hoping for calm seas. And that steadiness is a sign of inner strength, strength that only builds when tested. When you develop that inner strength, you no longer depend on the world to be kind. You depend on your ability to adapt, respond, and overcome. This gives you freedom because you're no longer a victim of conditions. You stop blaming traffic, people, luck, or timing. You start looking inward, not outward, and you discover the power you carry isn't in controlling the world, it's in controlling your attitude, your habits, your focus. The beauty of this truth is that it applies to every area of life. Relationships don't get easier. People are complex, misunderstandings happen, and emotions fluctuate. But if you become more understanding, more patient, more empathetic, you bring peace to chaos. Business doesn't get easier. Competition increases, markets shift, and pressure rises. But if you grow more skilled, more focused, more resilient, you turn problems into possibilities. Health doesn't manage itself. It requires attention, sacrifice, and effort. But if you become more disciplined, more committed, more informed, you gain control of what once felt like a burden. It's easy to wish for an easier life. It's tempting to hope that someday the path will be smooth, the obstacles gone, and the effort minimal. But ease doesn't produce excellence. Ease doesn't demand growth. The dream life isn't built by avoiding difficulty, but by becoming someone who can walk through difficulty and keep moving forward. If you look at the people you admire most, those who seem wise, grounded, capable, they didn't get there by accident. They've likely faced immense pressure, loss, or failure, but through it all, they gained a strength of character that couldn't have been formed any other way. That strength makes them stand tall when others fold. It gives them clarity when others are confused. It gives them patience when others rush and composure when others panic. Every time you face something hard, you have a choice to allow it to shrink you or shape you. You can let it harden your heart or strengthen your will. You can become bitter or better. The process of becoming stronger isn't always glorious. It's often quiet. It's the decision to get back up. It's the moment you choose not to quit. It's the day you show up again, even when the results are slow. It's consistency in the face of discouragement. And slowly, without realizing it, you build an inner foundation that can't be broken. As you become stronger, you don't need everything to go right to be okay. You don't need people to validate you to feel valuable. You don't need the path to be perfect to make progress. Strength gives you perspective. It helps you zoom out when life zooms in too tight. It reminds you of your capability, your resilience, your identity. And that reminder alone can keep you steady when everything around you feels uncertain. The The strength you gain also becomes a gift to others. When you become stronger, you become a pillar for those who are weak. You become a guide for those who are lost. You become an example to those who are searching for hope. Your strength speaks not through loud words, but through steady presence. And in a world where so many feel tossed by life, your strength is a quiet revolution. But strength isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's not about avoiding emotion or masking pain. True strength embraces vulnerability. It allows tears but refuses to drown in them. It accepts fear but walks forward anyway. It acknowledges wounds but chooses to heal. This kind of strength is rare because it's real. It doesn't shout, it endures. It doesn't boast, it builds. So while life will continue to bring its mix of joy and hardship, you're not helpless. You have a choice every single day to let life shape you or to rise and shape yourself, to grow stronger than your excuses, to become bigger than your obstacles, to evolve into someone who doesn't need life to be easier because you are becoming someone who is better. And when you reach that place, you won't beg for fewer burdens. You'll bless the ones that built you, because you'll know that while life never promised ease, it did offer you the priceless opportunity to become stronger. And that strength, that unshakable, earned, personal strength, will be your reward.